time. Our lives now ruled by a mariner's rhyme. We sold our
How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. Before we get into the content, really briefly I want to say, for those of you that are concerned that all you've seen is Great League content here, despite the fact that we're in Master League and just got finished with like a week of Ultra League prior to that, never fear, I will be releasing some fresh content after this video. This is going to be the last of my early season Great League footage. I really just haven't played a lot of Battle League, honestly, in the last few weeks. As you can see there on that beautiful picture under my face, only 230 battles this season, so really just haven't played a lot. I've been extremely busy. My son was born recently, and I've just been a busy dad, honestly, so we will be getting some fresh content to you, though. I'm excited for the Evolution Cup, and you will see some Ultra and Master League content at some point in the future on this channel, so don't worry. Let's get into the team comp real quick, and then we're going to go right into the footage. So the team over there on the left, you can see Sableye, Double Grass. Sableye is very strong on the lead and the swap. As we all know, it can be kind of annoying. And the reason I have Sableye is simply because I need a somewhat decent mon to cover these grass mons, because the grass mons are just... Grass is just so sketchy in the Open Great League. It gets beat by a lot of meta-relevant mons. Walrein, Registeel, Nidoqueen, they all just do not want to see those mons whatsoever. So we are running Ludicolo as well, which is a little spicy, and it does have a very heavy hitting move in the move Leaf Storm, which you saw in the intro, and you will see some more Leaf Storms land in this video. That being said, let's get right into the content here. Again, I would not recommend this team for those of you that are looking to climb rank. This is definitely a team for fun more so than climbing. So Shadow Mawile on the lead. This is not great for our whole team. I stay in with the Sableye and do some Shadow Claw damage, and then I bring in the Ludicolo to absorb the damage that this is going to throw at us. Probably going to be a Shadow Play Rough, which is not going to feel great, and that does a ton of damage, but we do tank it. Ludicolo has an average amount of bulk to it, and they bring in a Chestnut here, and this is actually great for us because our Jumpluff is going to come in after this matchup and totally wall it. And he actually lets the Ice Beam go too, which is great because now we can just fully farm down. So I believe I do decide to bring the Jumpluff in. I wait my clock. Yep, I bring the Jumpluff in, and the best he can do here is single resisted superpower me. We are double resisting the Vine Whips, and we would be double resisting the Energy Ball as well. And the opponent actually, for some reason, does go for the Energy Ball, even though probably a single resisted superpower would do slightly more damage. But either way, we farm all the way down. We have a ton of energy. And the opponent brings in a Defense Deoxys. And I'm realizing at this point that my win con is now with the Sableye. So I aggressively bring it back in, knowing the Mawile is going to be coming back in. But I did some Shadow Claw damage to it earlier, as well as a few bubbles from the Ludicolo. So this thing is now in farm down range. So you saw me there, I throw my Foul Play to get the first shield. And I'm just going to double shield both of the moves that this Mawile gets to, farm all the way down, and come out with basically 2 Foul Plays loaded for this Deoxys that's going to be coming back in. The Deoxys might be able to shield the first, but as you saw there, I'm only one away from double, and he realizes it's over and surrenders. So good game. There, recognizing my win con helped me win that game. So next game against JL Martin here. We've got Sableye on the lead versus a Machamp, and despite the type advantage we have, this is not super comfortable for Sableye. We're only single resisting the counters, and Machamp is just very spammy and very heavy hitting. This is enough for a Rock Slide. I tried to call a Cross Trap bait here. He sends the Rock Slide, and as you can see, we're already at like a 3rd health. So we're gonna bait, knowing that even if they call the bait, this Foul Play is still gonna do a lot because Machamp's pretty glassy in the Great League, and it does. So he's in the red health already. We bring in the Ludicolo now to lure out any potential counters to grass, and they have a Pidgeot, and this is probably the worst, if not maybe even the worst mon you could see. Normal Flyers beat this whole team, but he actually doesn't shield the Ice Beam. And my mouth was hanging open here because this has such a dominant matchup against Sableye. I thought for sure he would want to preserve this, knowing that he's going to beat Ludicolo and Sableye with it, but he elects not to shield. So I was like, wow, he's just giving me a win con here. So I bring in the Jumpluff, knowing that I can farm this down. And now the opponent waits a little while before he comes back in, and he's thinking, probably slapping his head thinking I should have just shielded the Pidgeot and it would have been game over, but he comes out with a Sableye here, so I bait because all he has left is a very low health Machamp, so he kind of has to protect the Sableye, and he does shield. Now I count to 6 and I do sacrifice the Sableye. Not sure if that was the best play because we still had some energy on that, but now we've got 2 shields for our Jumpluff and they only have 1, so this is still looking good. I do throw the Acrobatics here, thinking that a potential win con for the opponent would be to call the Energy Ball bait, knowing that I probably can't fast move him down after an Energy Ball. So I do get his last shield here, and now I'm just going to shield. He did build up to the return, but I've got 2 shields, so we might as well start using him anyway. I'm guessing he's going to try to catch, but he actually is a little early. But in seeing how much my Fairy Winds are doing to this Machamp, I'm realizing I can just shield his move, farm down, and come out with 100 energy, and it'll basically be game over. So we've got 100 energy, and you'll see me make a big mistake here. I was somewhat unfamiliar with how much damage Jumpluff's moves do to different mons, and I throw the Acrobatics, and it doesn't KO, and he wins CMP as I get to the Energy Ball. So there, if I would have just thrown the Energy Ball, done one more Fairy Wind, and thrown the second Energy Ball, would have been game over. But you live and learn. Sometimes just playing the game helps you learn how much damage a move does, and I just wasn't familiar there. So, but the opponent deserved to win anyway with the Pidgeot, so, you know, it all evens out in the end. So, next battle, another fighter, Toxicroak this time. Similar situation, our foul plays are going to be resisted, but their counters are also resisted, and they pretty much can just Mud Bomb here, and it doesn't do a lot of damage. But the opponent, for some reason, actually Sludge Bombs there, which it is resisted, and it may just barely do more raw damage, but it would have been more efficient just to throw the Mud Bomb there because it's less energy. But he Sludge Bombs a Ghost type, and that is a decision. And we're going to throw another foul play here. He will probably go down if he lets this go. And he actually commits both shields on a pretty bad matchup for him. So this is great now. We're going to come in with Jumpluff and absorb whatever this Toxicroak throws. It'll probably be a Sludge Bomb. And it will hurt, but Jumpluff is a tanky beast, and Jumpluff doesn't care about Sludge Bombs. As you can see, that just does slightly over half. Now we've got 2 shields, and they didn't switch out there, so they're probably weak. And it's a Venusaur. How much do you think an Acrobatics does against a nearly full health Venusaur? Bam! Like 95%. I was shocked. Jumpluff is very defense weighted. I did not think it would do that much, but here we're just going to save 2 shields for Ludicolo because Ludicolo is just an absolute beast with a shield advantage, and they've got a Politoed. This is giving me flashbacks to those poor Azus in the first video, but here I decide to have a little fun. I allow the opponent to Blizzard me and decide not to shield it knowing it won't KO, and then I Leaf Storm. So no disrespect to the opponent, he played it as well as he could have. We had a really good matchup in the back, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta have a little fun, guys. So we leave with 2 shields for the road, and we are getting into the next battle. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this so far. Even though they're early season battles, I really had a lot of fun using some spicy grass mons because I love grass mons. They're just so weak. Even in the main series games, nobody ever picked Bulbasaur. Everybody always picks Charizard. But anyway, we're into a Swampert now. I count to 5 and I make a catch onto the Ludicolo. This Hydro will be double resisted, so this is a nice catch. And that is virtually nothing. And they have a Noctowl. So this is worst case scenario, and actually now it's worst case scenario because we lag, and the opponent gets his Sky Attack off before our move, whereas with a 1 bubble head start, Ludicolo would have outpaced there and got to the Ice Beam, but the lag prevents that from happening. So now we've got a nearly full health Noctowl, and all we have is it resisted moves basically left for it. Shadow Claw's double resisted here, so this is very, very bad. Our Sableye is going to have a tough time taking this down. We do commit the shield, and by doing this, I'm thinking the opponent may now be inclined to shield, even though Noctowl is very bulky since I shielded. So I do bait here, and the opponent does shield. So this, we're fighting back. This is looking terrible, but we're fighting back. I'm now going to send the return because I doubt the opponent's going to want to give up 2 shields this early. And we do land the return. So this is huge. We still can't double resisted Shadow Claw this thing down, but we're going to do our best to take it out. So I let this Sky Attack go, and now I aggressively switch in Jumpluff. And I'm just going to have to commit to a farm down here. There's no other chance for me to win this game. I'm going to shield, knowing that this knockdown is going to get to another sky attack before I farm down. So I will throw my energy ball here at some point just to maybe get that last shield. And if he does shield this, then there might be a chance that there's something weak in the back to Jumpluff. We know there's a pretty healthy Swampert still. He does shield, so we're now all shields down, but I'm going to have to eat a sky attack here, and this is not going to feel great. And it does not. They bring back in the Swampert. I count to 3, knowing that 4 would be another Hydro Cannon, and I throw just to maximize my energy gains. And as well, the Swampert's triple resisted mud shots aren't threatening. We take the Swampert out. We just have to hope that this Jumpluff can one-shot something in the back. He actually comes back in with Knockdown, so now I'm thinking, what is it? Can I one-shot it? Is it another Venusaur? And it's a Scrafty! So we throw our Acrobatics after 1 Fairy Wind. Will this KO the Scrafty? It doesn't. He's at 2. He needs 3 more to the Power-Up Punch. And we CMP tie on 1 HP to the Power-Up Punch. Sableye wins CMP, and our Foul Play does KO the Scrafty. That, my friends, is why you do not surrender until the game is over, because I so badly wanted to surrender that basically entire match after that lag. But we played it out, and we ended up getting a very improbable win. So that doesn't always happen, guys, but that is really why you shouldn't surrender until the end. But you know what? Sometimes there are times where you surrender, but you get my point. So Medicham on the lead, great lead for us. He brings in a Tentacruel, and unfortunately we do have to stay in this matchup because our grass does not want to see this Poison Jab user. So we're just going to stay in here, and the opponent's building up a lot past a potential Scald. So I'm thinking this might be an old Tentacruel that doesn't have Scald, and I actually call the Acid Spray bait. So my thinking was it was probably an Acid Spray Hydro Pump Tentacruel. Maybe not, maybe he just baited anyway, but we call it an important bait there. And the opponent actually just lets their Tentacruel go, so this is great. I will be safe swapping out of here because I do want that Sableye to end up on the Medicham in the endgame. So regardless of what they come in with, I will safe swap. I bring in the Ludicolo, and it's a Sableye, so this is looking pretty doable. We have a shield advantage. Our Jumpluff is looking very strong because it can do well against Sableye and Medicham. Here, I make a little bit of a mistake. He brings back in the Medicham. I was thinking I might be able to get to 2 moves, which is why I throw the Ice Beam. Didn't want to debuff my attack with that Leaf Storm, but as you see here, I was still 1 bubble off of the second move, so I should have just thrown the Leaf Storm and done a lot more damage. But we live and learn. We come back in with the Sableye here, basically just to absorb some energy, and we're basically putting it all on Jumpluff at this point. I fortunately do win CMP here and get my Foul Play off, so I'm hoping this gets the last shield. And it does get the last shield. Actually, the first shield, excuse me. He still was holding on to 2 shields as well. So it gets the first shield. So I just let this go now. I know that my Jumpluff is going to be the win con here. Because with 2 shields, it can pretty easily handle the back mons. And looks like he built up to an Ice Punch there. So I'm aware of that. And he brings back in the Sableye. I throw my Energy Ball. There would have probably been a good time to throw the Acrobatics. Because as you saw, he called that. And now it's going to be a little bit of a tricky farm down for me. I call a Foul Play bait because I don't want to shield a Foul Play and then get hit with the return. So I call a bait here, and now this game is basically over. We have 2 shields. I do have to save a shield for that Ice Punch, but we can just farm down here, shield this, and yeah, it's going to be a good game. And I guess I don't shield there. I don't know what I was thinking there. Oh my goodness. Oh, I remember this game now. Oh my goodness. So here, I'm going to pause real briefly, guys. I don't always pause, but I think this game, I thought that I only had 1 shield left, and I knew I had to save a shield for the Ice Punch. So I actually don't shield that Foul Play from the Sableye, and we live with very low HP. Here, as you can see, the opponent wins CMP, but if you look at my health bar there, if I'm at 1 HP, a shielded charge move still does 1 HP of damage. So I could lose here with 2 shields. But fortunately, we must have had 2 HP because we barely live, and then we Acrobatics the Medicham, and we still have a shield left. So that was a crazy battle there. I could have just shielded that Foul Play and then shielded the Ice Punch, but I just like to live on the edge, I guess. Probably was playing the games at 3 AM too and was like half asleep. So good game to the opponent there. He was probably like blown away that I let that Foul Play through. So we've got a Dunsparce on the lead. It has a new move rollout. I count to 4 here, and I'm hoping the opponent went for a drill run, and we catch the triple resisted drill run, and that does absolutely nothing. And this Dunsparce does no rock slide, but as you're going to see here, Dunsparce, despite being better than it was, it just does not hit very hard. That rock slide does virtually nothing. So we're going to be able to tank another rock slide very comfortably. So we're just going to start unloading some energy balls onto this thing, and we actually get a shield, so that's great. And we get the very rare defense drop too, so even better. So here I go acrobatics, thinking with that defense drop, this might actually KO if he doesn't shield. And I guess it doesn't. I guess Dunsparce is pretty tanky even after that defense drop, so pretty impressive bulk there. But again, I knew that wasn't going to KO, and he's going to have to throw again, or I'm going to get to another move, and he does. So we've gotten ourselves a shield advantage. I didn't really want to expend a shield on the Jumpluff. I'd rather save shields for Ludicolo and Sableye. So here I actually might try to farm down with the Shadow Claw. Looks like I do go ahead and throw the move just to maybe get another shield. And we'll have still a 2 shield advantage, and the opponent shields again, so he must be weak in the back to Sableye, I'm thinking at this point. But I still don't have to shield this because this isn't going to even do half. And he brings in a Buzzwole, shields down, and this Buzzwole is certainly not going to appreciate a return from a Sableye here. Let's see how much damage this does. Is this one shot? It does one shot. I guess he was pretty low, but we do a lot of damage, and at this point, this game's over. Ludicolo with 2 shields is just going to destroy whatever's in back. I don't even care if it's a Registeel. 2 Leaf Storms are going to take care of that Registeels, probably plus the bubbles. So Mawile in the back, and here's where you're going to see the crazy raw damage of Leaf Storm, guys. This is resisted, but you're going to see this resisted move absolutely almost destroy the Mawile. That does like 75% of a resisted move. That is absolutely crazy. So Ludicolo there, we leave with 2 shields for the road as well again, guys. But yeah, Ludicolo with shields down is just absolutely devastating. So we've got Empoleon in this battle. Here we're going to very carefully time our charge moves. We're going to throw after 7, and that's only allowing them 1 free turn of energy by throwing on 7. They are going to be getting the energy for their charge move as soon as this animation goes through. But I actually decide to do 1 more Shadow Claw and then catch. I assumed the opponent would probably not throw right away and do 1 more, so I catch the resisted Hydro Cannon on the Jumpluff there. And here again, you're going to see me time my moves very carefully. Rather than being caught in a CMP tie there, which I lose, I go ahead and I actually don't throw the move. I sneak a move through as he throws, and now I can just farm down before he gets to another move. So we are down a shield, but we have 100 energy, and he comes in with a Trevenant. So I'm thinking he must be super weak to this Jumpluff if he comes in with Trevenant. So I go ahead and I straight acrobatics, I get a shield, and I'm going to get to another one before he gets to his move. So this is either going to grab the final shield or it's going to one-shot the Trevenant, I would assume. And we get the final shield, so we now have shields up. And here, I'm thinking, this opponent might try to bait me. And I do call a double resisted Seed Bomb bait, and that does a laughably small amount of damage. And again, I'm thinking the opponent probably doesn't want to Shadow Ball me at this low health, so I call another bait, and it's another Seed Bomb. So our Jumpluff has successfully gotten both shields from this Trevenant, and is now going to absolutely level it with an acrobatics. And now we've got a shield advantage for our Ludicolo, and as you can see, Ludicolo with the shield advantage is just extremely strong. This Zweilous is not going to be protected from this Ice Beam, and Ice Beam is not going to feel great. I let the Body Slam go, knowing that I'm very easily going to be able to survive these Dragon Breaths and get to the Ice Beam. Here, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Maybe just having a little fun again, or again, maybe I'm half asleep, but I know that after the bubble damage, this Ice Beam is almost going to KO. And even if it doesn't, our Sableye does have a little bit of health in the back, so this is going to be a good game. The Zweilous actually lives it with 1 HP, but we get to 1 more bubble, and that's a good game. So, well played to the opponent there. Who knows what I'm doing, guys, like waiting to throw moves and tanking charge moves when I have shields, but you know what? That's the state of the game. So, we got Wall Rain into Sableye here. We have to stay in here, and we need to take care of this. We cannot afford for this thing to see our backline. So I'm farming up. I just keep farming here. I was hoping the opponent would throw earlier so I could sneak, but he does throw and I do sneak. So I believe he is 1 away from the double. So I will throw 1 more Shadow Claw and then bait with a Foul Play. knowing he's probably going to want to shield to get off this this move, and he does shield. So now I will shield this, and I effectively have gotten myself 1 turn of energy, or 2 turns, 1 move of energy ahead of the opponent since I CMP here. So I will count again to 5, and I will CMP him again. So if he wants to preserve this wall rain, he's going to have to give up both shields. And I'm okay with my grass mons in this matchup with shield advantage. And as you can see, he just lets it go there anyway. And here, guys, is why grass is not meta. Because there's a Shadow Nidoqueen in back. My Sableye had to stay in on that wall rain. It's now very low. And this Nidoqueen is just going to feast on my poor grass mons in the back. As you're going to see here, he shields the Ice Beam, which is the correct call. And we're going to have to bring in Jumpluff. And Jumpluff is just going to be very sad from these Poison Jabs and Poison Fangs. So we're going to do our best. We're going to play it out. This is a situation where maybe you could surrender, realizing that this game is over. But I play it out anyway. I have to tank the first one because I know he's going to get to a second. I'm praying that somehow this Energy Ball KOs and that somehow my Jumpluff can just like pull off some shenanigans against this Umbreon, but it doesn't even KO. He's going to get to a move. I know this game is over at this point, so I just let it go. At this point, I kind of am just playing it out so I can see how much a Acrobatics does on the Umbreon for science. So I'm not even going to shield because there's no point. This game's over, but for science, so we're going to Acrobatics this Umbreon and see how much damage an Acrobatics does to an Umbreon. And how much do we think it does? Like 10%? I don't know. Umbreon is a tanky beast as well. And that does a laughably small amount of damage. And it looks like I even tried to surrender on the last move there, but we don't. And that is a good game, guys. So that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, please like and comment. And also give me a subscribe if you would. It will really help me get content out to more people. And the more people that we get content out to, the more videos I can make, the more time my wife is going to allow me to play Pokemon. So let's give this a thumbs up and a subscription, guys. And thank you again for watching. And please come back and see me in the next one.